We are a channel that appreciates its viewers. We give our utmost effort for the best quality content, and we even push for the highest quality effort when it comes to how we look for you on screen.
Hi. When I need my skin to look its absolute best when I'm blowing the heads off zombies, I set my ring light to 4700K. Because I care. Maybe he's born with it.
Join our community. Join a channel that loves its viewers. Join this channel because we care.
Oh my god, that was absolutely horrifying, dude. That is like the absolute worst scenario you could dream of just happened to me while I'm producing this show. Oh my god, dude, that was what were you guys doing? Were you like, hello?
I'm like, fearless leader, step on the hill. We're stuck here. We're stuck in the clouds out in space.
Oh my god, my computer just froze and like nothing I could touch would work.
Oh gosh. I thought mine froze. I'm sitting here refreshing everything. I'm like, well, no, looks like I'm refreshing.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with my internet tonight, guys. No, that was me, Alex. That wasn't you. That was me. I don't know what happened on my end. Yeah, I was I went to tap on the commercial and then everything just froze on my screen.
Okay.
So it was this thing where like everything froze for like 40 seconds, and so I start tapping other things to see if I can get them to work, and nothing's working. And then all of a sudden it does like all the commands in a row.
Yes.
Like, I was like, oh, what is going on? So I had to like refresh my screen or whatever. So, oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing. I feel like I just walked out here in my underwear or something, dude. That is how embarrassing that was.
Art, put something on.
Sorry about that. Hello, everybody in internet land. Hello, boy Wonder and John.
Well, thank you.
And hello to Alex out in the audience.
We got Alex tuning in here already. And how was KyberCon, my friend? You sent some great pictures. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah, and in fact, after I get off here, I've got to run to the photographer's house and bring a flash drive, and he's got literally hundreds of photos for us that I got to figure out.
Get some for me too.
Yeah, I need one of those, dude. I got to go figure out where to get a flash drive or something.
There's another one. I got them all over the place.
What? I need that here. And we're gonna get all the photos from KyberCon. Man, it was okay. So when I opened Kyber Cave, when we had our mall location, we had this big, huge store, and one of my dreams was to bring panel. Like when you go to a Comic-Con and they have the panels where they'll have the guests sitting up there and then people will ask them questions, or, they'll talk about the latest project. Maybe they'll have a bunch of Marvel characters up there talking about the next movie or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It had always been my dream to do panels inside my store.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Instead of going to a Comic-Con, bring a celebrity into my store and then, have people be able to ask them questions. We did that with KyberCon too when we brought in an actor. He doesn't want me to use his name. We brought in an actor from The Mandalorian to KyberCon 2 on the 21st, May 3rd, 2021. I believe Chris was there for that, or our boy Winder, I believe, was there. Did you come to that one? You didn't come to that one? He's been to so many of our events. At any rate, that was the first time that we kind of had, well, actually, no. Now that I think about it, at Kyber Cave 1, both C. Andrew Nelson and Tim Donaldson kind of got up on the mic and spoke a little bit. So it wasn't the same format. It was just a bunch of people standing around. But it's always been my dream to have, the chairs set out, your celebrities up there, and people are able to do questions and answers.
Kind of like a live mic situation in your store.
Right.
That's
and it
awesome,
was
bro.
So cool to have, we had the one session with Eric Voss and Tommy Bechtold, where they talked about their experience on New Rockstars and the growth of that. I mean, to be in an intimate room with 20 other people, and I'm sitting 5 feet from Eric Voss. You know what I mean?
Treat! What a treat!
And I could ask him, and then people could ask him anything he wanted.
Yeah.
What was really a great experience for me personally, having worked so hard, and I want to give a lot of love to Steven, my store manager, and Mezzo, our director here at this channel, but also my event manager for KyberCon 3.
Wow.
Both of them worked their butts off to help with a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't even know about. So
that's awesome. Because there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's always a lot, my friend. But so John Michael, he's the actor from Squid Game, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were having little talks and stuff before the show, and he was like, people aren't even going to know who I am, blah blah blah. Okay. And I was like, because he's in Korea, so most of his catalog is Korean dramas.
Okay. That's what you guys were talking about when they came in that night. Right. He was talking about being in Korea, and I was like, that's cool. I didn't realize he actually was there full time.
Well, yeah. So he doesn't have any American movies under his belt necessarily, other than ones that came out to Korea.
Gotcha.
So he was saying, how people don't even know who I am. But when we did the panel with John Michael, there was clearly 2 women that were like, so when you did such and such movie, how was this? You could tell they knew his catalog of work.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So he was like,
pleasantly surprised,
people, right? That actually know who I am, and not just a Squid Game actor, but who John D. Michaels was.
A person. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Nice. So that was a lot of fun. We had Alan Fernandez, Tuscan Raider.
Cool.
Last minute, literally, KyberCon is on Saturday. Friday night, I get a call from Tim Donaldson, who is the cool Jawa.
Yes.
So he came out as well.
Oh, nice.
And then Joshua Pilla, the flow artist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he did his performances. I had Mr. Hooper do a hip-hop performance to open up the show. We had the Twilight Knights do Saber demonstrations.
Oh, cool.
And in fact, what was kind of cool was one of our people, David from Kyber Cave After Dark, we had done a show about 2 months ago in Merced for a film festival, and Twilight Knights were there, and on stage, David and one of the Twilight Knights got to fight. Well, at KyberCon, they got to have a rematch because both of them happened to be there, so they had a rematch in front of everybody.
That's very cool. Wow.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Please like and share as much as possible. We very greatly appreciate it. So, I don't want to take up, especially with all the guffaws I did at the beginning of this, I don't want to take up too much time on KyberCon 3, but I will say, please go within the next, give me a couple more days, because I still got to go get the photos. But in the next couple of days, maybe by the weekend, how about that? By the weekend, hopefully we'll have photos up from KyberCon 3 on our Kyber Cave Productions page on Facebook that you can check out.
Because if you like, what I could do is I could download those pictures, or you could send them to me, and what I could do is put them to a beatdown track, and then give me the KyberCon track.
Oh, snap! Look at that! I love it. And you know what? We're doing it now.
I kind of felt bad about this week. I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to miss out. I'll get more active about digging up stuff rather than just simply waiting for people to come to me. I'm sorry about that.
But and here's the thing, too. We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah.
When you start digging and get permission, then they will know to start sending you stuff. So,
gotcha.
In the beginning, you have to do a lot of asking.
Mm-hmm.
But once you started that asking ball, then it goes the other direction and they start giving. Do you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
But let's not talk about that. That's a whole different show.
Let's talk about what are we talking about tonight? Yeah.
What are we talking about tonight?
I can't see it.
Wow. Nice little pun
I went
there. You did go there. Here it is. I was like, we don't have definition cards. Just more than expected. Here we go.
It was there. Now it's gone.
Did it disappear? Right, I'm going to take Alex's comment off and let's try this again. Definition card. Where did you go? There we go. Okay. Do you want to read it, sir?
Blindness, the state or condition of being unable to see because of injury, disease, or congenital condition.
Excellent. So, I mean, we all basically know what blindness is, right?
Pretty much. I got a personal... it's so weird how so many things connect to parts of my life. Right. When I was born, my eyes were installed, as I like to say, installed backwards. When you would open up my eyelids, you would see the optic nerve.
Oh, snaps.
Yeah, that's how none of the muscles that make your eyes move were connected to my eyes.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
On the second day of existence, a couple of eye doctors decided to do double eye surgery on me. And they flipped them around, realized my eyes and optic nerves were all perfect, connected up all the muscles, and for the next 13 years, I get to come back and see these guys every week. Got to wear an eye patch through school and stuff, changing it out every few weeks so that I could strengthen my eyes and stuff.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a fairly common birth situation, turns out. And if you were to have that problem today, insurance would make you choose one eye over the other. Whereas back when I had it done, it was a given. We're going to fix both eyes, and he's going to get all of the therapy he needs. Because the sooner you fix
insurance will only do one eye.
They will make you pick which one.
What is the thought process with that?
The thought process in that is that we're going to give your child sight.
But not depth perception?
No. The way that it works for many insurances, if this happens, they will let you choose left or right eye if both of them are viable, instead of taking both and fixing the problem altogether. It sucks the way our system works. That's
miserable, dude.
Yeah. And it does that with other things too, where if you had something that's still viable, but it now takes surgery to get fixed, they'll give you the option of going halfway and stuff like that. It's appalling. It's kind of like how people get these gastric bypasses and stuff, and they lose all this weight, and they work very hard for it to keep it off 2 years, 3 years, and then the insurance company says we're not going to remove all that flappy skin.
Right.
And psychologically, that screws with people, even though this.
I know a few people who've had gastric bypass.
Yeah, my ex-wife had that.
Right.
Yeah, and but when it comes to the blind thing, it really connected with me when you brought this topic up, like blindness. Whew. Right. I started out life being blind, basically.
Wow.
And then had it corrected, thankfully, by some brave doctors that decided to work on an infant.
That's crazy,
It
dude.
is crazy.
It just blows my mind that companies wouldn't, and I didn't even really think about that with the gastric bypass, that it's not just about procedures, right? I mean,
No,
if you don't have the correct therapy after you do a procedure, if you don't do the procedure all the way, are you really, I mean, how much help are you doing? Wow, that's just craziness.
it is.
I would like to know if there's anybody in our audience or anybody that watches this in the future from another country who actually has health care, unlike America. If you were to get, that kind of thing, are they going to do both eyes? If you get gastric bypass, are they also going to take? Are they going to take care of the whole problem or just the immediate issue? That's very interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. I'd like to know if you guys know about
You know
that.
how you get the skin removed? You come to your doctor with rashes, lesions, and other sorts of abnormalities, other medical conditions. So it
Right.
forces the insurance company to have to remove it to stop covering all these things that they're covering now.
Wow.
It's
only when it costs them, because it's going to cost them more money. That's what they're thinking.
yes, basically.
That's horrifying.
It is.
Well, before we go too far, let's start with our first little video clip.
You
It's
got it.
not going to give a ton of information. This should just kind of bring us and ease us into the topic, but it should definitely be something you recognize. So here we go.
Can I ask a personal question?
I haven't always been blind.
Guess that's what everyone wants to know.
That, or how do you comb your hair?
How do you comb your hair?
Honestly, you hope for the best. Want to sit?
How did it happen?
Car accident. When I was 9,
It must have been rough.
I made it through.
Do you remember what it was like to see?
Yes, I remember.
I can't imagine what that must be like.
I'm supposed to say I don't miss it. It's what they teach you in trauma recovery. Define yourself by what you have. Value the differences. Make no apologies for what you lack. And that's all true for the most part, but it doesn't change the fact that I'd give anything to see the sky one more time.
Yeah. I think it's different when you are, not that it's better. I'm not saying it's better, but if you were born with the disease or something that's different about you, and you grow up learning, not knowing that you're different, that's just how you are, right? You just adapt to it and you just move on with your life. I feel like somehow it's easier to think about that than somebody who maybe had vision and then lost it.
That's the way it is for practically every disability that there is. If you were
Right.
born able and then became disabled at some point, you will have a transition period, and you will have a time of transition where you will cope with and come to terms or not, and stuff like that.
Right.
Whereas a person that's born with situation, they don't know the difference because they've never been any other way.
Right.
Our friend Alex, our friend, the boy Wonder down yonder here, they were both born with their situations.
Right.
So for them, this is just who they are. They're just their cool selves. For me,
Right.
I'm the big dork that became disabled, and now I'm a bigger dork.
Right. I think that's got to be hard. I think maybe even a different topic for us to talk about one night is, although it's not necessarily medical, but the 5 steps of grievance, because I feel like that comes up a lot when we talk about a lot of these disabilities, because there's always
Yeah.
that moment of acceptance, right?
Yes.
And then there's a lot of times when people kind of try to fight against it. Maybe they had their leg cut off, and you know they were a jogger before that, and you know they just can't accept. They refuse to accept that they're not going to be able to jog again. But it's not that they're going to not jog again. They're just going to do it in a different way.
Yes.
They're going to
Yes.
have now, you know, a funky looking leg, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
They're going to have a prosthetic.
right, a prosthetic doesn't mean you can't do those things. It just means you now have to find a different way to do it. And so many of those, it comes to that acceptance part that I think is probably, I mean, the hard. How is it for you? I mean, you obviously have had to go through this with, you know, your injuries.
For me, he mentioned trauma therapy and that sort of stuff. He mentioned help. There was no help for me. There is no help for lots of people, it turns out. I couldn't find mentors. I couldn't find clubs, organizations, groups, charities, anything. And I tried. Church, wherever. Nothing. And I kind of had to wing it on my own and come up with my own way of. So for 12 years, I spent 12 years angry and raging mad at everything, because for 12 years I was misdiagnosed, and I couldn't believe that these nincompoops that I was going to tons of doctors, would say, well, I don't know, we tried this didn't work, he seems to be blah, blah. It's like, and every time I'd come back, he presents with the exact same condition, same spot of problem, same area of concern, same. And I've been recently going through my paperwork because I'm continuing to have to fight this fight in order to. My current doctor, thankfully, is advocating for me heavily, but to catch him up to speed, he has to now get caught up on everything that's been done in the past, what's being done now currently. Tomorrow I go to an hour-long mobility evaluation. Basically, this is where they're gonna make me walk, see what happens when I walk.
Right.
They're gonna make me do things. I don't mind. I've been wanting to go through this particular thing for a while. I did it already here at the house. Now I'm gonna go see some other people, so I'm gonna have more medical evidence to support what I'm telling them about. And it's just maddening because it feels like I'm some sort of circus freak continuously proving myself for something. It's like, I'm sorry, I've been this way now for 28 years. When can I stop proving to these morons that this is the way it is?
Right.
You know, so you don't really, you know.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off, but we were talking more about acceptance, and I want to bring this back to blindness. You know, as opposed to I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah, the thing that got me back to acceptance. I'm sorry, I jump onto this stuff and I feel.
No, but I mean it's horrible stuff.
The biggest thing for me that got me to accept was by not giving up on myself, and that has to be the hardest thing to tell people is, don't give up. I mean, it's easier said than done. Well, you make it look so easy. Trust me, it isn't. I went to water therapy. She figured out what was wrong, and from that point on, I could start working on accepting.
Right.
Because now I understood what it was that I was dealing with.
Right.
It's kind of like, why is this engine so gosh darn problematic in my car? And then one day, it's explained to you, so you learn what it is. Oh, it needs fluids in there. I didn't know that. You know, once you can understand what something is, you have a better chance of at least dealing with and coping with it. Same thing with mental stuff. So as I became more accepting of, okay, this is how it's got to be for me, I started coming up with things that I can do to help myself, because now I understood what I could do. Before it was just hit and miss. It's like, why did that work last time and now it's not? God dang it. And you just get mad. Acceptance comes slowly for some, quicker for others. For me, very slowly. Now I like to tell people that ask me about the pain and stuff, I've come to realize that I'm at peace with my pain. I may not want the pain. I may argue with it at times when it's flaring up on me and changing what I would like to do for the day or whatever. But it is what it is. It's a part of me at this point. And, you know, accepting that or blindness or any other thing, that is not an easy thing to do.
Right.
It was a lot like accepting not being able to drive a car ever again. That was actually the hardest part of this. try to imagine. You like driving. You drive everywhere you go to get places, right?
Right. I mean, that's
Try to imagine that's taken away permanently.
That's one of the signs of, or one of the things, especially as Americans, that we see as a sign of independence, of self, being able to take care of yourself, is to be able to drive around
identify ourselves through our cars, like our jobs and stuff.
Right. So, really quickly, I want to make sure, because I feel like we're kind of, not saying as close to blindness as we need to. I want to read a few little facts that I found about blindness. I've got this. This is from Perkins.org. Okay, so a lot of people. Oh, you know what? And that's something else. We can talk about the Mr. Beast thing. But one of the first facts here is that there are different types of blindness. Some people think that you're either it's on or off. But in fact, some people have what they call legal blindness, and maybe they can see just shapes of things, or they can see colors, but they can't quite make visual faces, or maybe things are just not, they look blurry, they're not sharp at all, so that they couldn't drive or anything like that. So that there are only about 10 to 15% of people who are considered blind are 100% lights out. That, I find that amazing, because I don't know. Maybe it's just the way society is. Maybe it's just how, because I'm not myself blind. I haven't been around anybody that's blind, so I really don't know. So my only perceptions are what I see in the media or on TV. And I just thought, when you're blind, that's it. Just boom, lights out. I did not know that the majority of blind people actually have some sort of stimulation.
Yes.
Now, it's not the full visual picture, but there's something there.
Other things that people have misconceptions of too, besides blindness like this, about an almost equally proportionate to amount, is over 80% of people in wheelchairs are not paralyzed.
Right.
People have a hard time thinking, well, I saw that person move their legs, I saw that person stand. Doesn't mean they still don't need a wheelchair.
Right.
Type of thing. Same thing with blind people. I've been around blind people. My half-brother is completely blind from a motorcycle accident.
Right.
And he was 19 years old when that happened.
Wow.
And boy, I tell you, he got screwed big time. My birth mother, basically kidnaps him, takes him up to Alaska, keeps him in a room, denies him all access to any sort of help from the state or anybody else or charities, and keeps his disability check so she can then go out and do what she wants.
Right.
I'm like, I tried reporting her, but
let's not get too much to the side.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the thing. Okay, I want to read off a couple more facts, and then when I get to this number 4, we're gonna have another little side discussion that you and I were starting to talk about. Okay, so another fact was that less than 2% of visually impaired people actually use a white cane. I find that absolutely amazing, because what's the biggest stereotype you always see on movies, right? You always see that guy with the white cane clicking about, putting his hand up like he doesn't know what's going on. Less than 2% of people that are blind actually use that white cane. Yes. Most of them use a dog or nothing at all.
Yes. One of the big reasons that they don't use anything is because they are usually viciously attacked by idiots and ignorant people, criminally trying to take advantage of them.
Right. So they don't want to make themselves a target for thugs and bad people out there. That's
unfortunate.
That gets me so mad. The other thing, here's another, while we're on the topic of blindness, United States of America, if you really want to help all disabled people, one of the first things you need to start doing is making different size denominations. They do this in every other friggin' country except for the United States. And I'm not even talking about developed country. Underdeveloped countries still do it, and we can't figure it out.
Nope.
Please do not make the $100 bill and the $1 bill exactly the same size. All right?
Hey,
These poor people are getting ripped off at McDonald's because they can't tell what bill they're giving out, or put some kind of like braille or something on there so that they can tell the difference between a $5 bill and a $50 bill. That's all I'm saying. It's not that hard. No. Everybody else has figured it out.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that's been figured out that Yeah.
that we just haven't quite figured out here yet. This is the one I wanted to have the little discussion with you about, and I think it's very interesting only because you and I feel like there's so many things that boom, we're right there. You say this, and I'm like, oh man, you're right, dude. I got you. But this is one of the places we seem to have a little bit of a difference of opinion. Okay, so surprisingly, 80% of vision problems worldwide could be avoided or even cured. And this goes into a whole different topic. Why don't you bring that up real quick so I'm not just jabbing about?
All right. A young man, he's 24 years old. He goes by the name of Jimmy Donaldson. You guys might know him also on YouTube as Mr. Beast.
Right.
I really have only just learned about him within like the last week or so. I've heard about him in the past, but just didn't pay any mind to him. Okay, my girlfriend's son loves him, but so what he did recently was he helped out 1,000 blind people get the ability to see. Now, I did watch the entire video, and I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. But part of me was kind of feeling cringe because I'm like, ugh, something just screams. He's getting a bigger cut of something. But in the end, he's helping people, and they seemed genuinely happy with what they were getting. So I can't fault him completely, but it just makes me sad. Ark over there. He brought up an important point. He's like, the United States needs to get its basically collective tush off of its head and wake up and realize we need to fix this health scare system so that it starts to work to keep people healthy the right way. Right. Because if we do that, it costs less.
And then the thing is, on this video, most of the procedures were less than 10 minutes.
Yes.
And what our big argument was why did it take Mr. Beast to do this? Right?
Yes.
Why isn't this something that we as a nation, as a healthy society are not just doing? If it's a 10-minute procedure, and that means the difference between a person being able to have a job or to even... I only say have a job because, as a country, they're going to think of their needs first, right? They're going to think of gross domestic product. As a teacher, I'm thinking, quality of life for this individual. But even if you don't give a crap about the quality of life of that person, it can only help your country.
Definitely.
It can only help you make
improve
more money.
The economy, because let's say this child here that's in here had glaucoma, early onset glaucoma as a child. 10 minutes later, it's no longer an issue. Now this child can go on and go to college, go to do the different things that he wouldn't be able to do. We're not even teaching Braille anymore. The people that are teaching Braille are dying off or retiring or getting out because, well, there's just nobody to teach and nobody really giving incentive. The new teachers like yourself, that might end up with the occasional blind person, are then left holding the bag of, how do I teach Braille? I've never done this before. Okay, here's some Braille instruction online. Here, we'll try to make this
Go ahead
work.
and take that picture off. It's just making you small.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing, right? Think about this child this imaginary child you're talking about that has cataracts, right? This child has cataracts, so instead of getting that fixed, think about the thousands of dollars that are spent on special needs education that they're going to put this child in when he's really not. There's no reason for that child to be getting special ed classes.
A 10-minute procedure?
Or special need classes.
And the doctor said it's not even that expensive. That's the thing that got me. It's like it's not even that costly or that involved of a procedure. 10 minutes.
Right.
They're in and out.
So specifically about this whole Mr. Beast thing, and to be clear, because there's been so many people, and we brought this up because it was a relatively recent news story that happened. And with a lot of the Mr. Beast videos, I mean, his videos tend to be fun. They're joking. They're having a good time. But he does have a whole philanthropy. It's Mr. Beast Philanthropy.
Yes, it is.
It's a separate whole channel. And he does a lot of good in the world. So aside all of that being a thing, there was a lot of people that had controversy, and they were like, oh, just like you were saying, that's so cringy. he's going to be making money from these videos and exploiting these poor people, to give them eyesight. You know what I mean? And first off, he's not doing anything himself. He's hiring doctors, trained professionals.
Exactly. He's not actually committing the surgery himself. So.
Right. So he doesn't think he's like a messiah or some kind of like... That's one of the things I've heard online, is that he thinks he's, some kind of a god or something. No, he doesn't think that at all. He's hired doctors.
That at least. The only thing that made me feel that it was cringy was the fact that, I guess, why does it take a citizen to step up, to show the world, our government, our healthcare system, fellow Americans and stuff, that if we were all to pitch in just a smidge, we already pay 4.6.
I was going to say, we already pitch in just a smidge, homie. Yeah,
but we do already. And here's the thing. It's getting us, where are we now? Are we happy with our healthcare coverage for $4.3 trillion or $4.6 trillion in a year? That's how we spend on approximately $13,000 an individual per year.
Right. Well, the problem that we have in the United States is we don't use best practices.
No, we
don't look around at other countries in the world and go, oh, you know what? Sweden and friggin' Denmark have the highest national... Here's an index for you. Have you ever heard of the happiness index?
Yes.
They have the highest national happiness of any country in the world. And guess what? They probably pay some of the highest taxes in the world as individuals.
They do.
But they're happy to do it.
Because they know what they're doing is helping out everybody. And in the end, that helps them.
Exactly.
Here in America, we have the opposite. I ain't helping nobody else. It ain't helping me.
Right.
But that's the problem. If we're helping each other, it ends up helping ourselves too. Because then there is no gray area. There is no limbo. There is no swept under the rug syndrome. There is no way to do that because we've already covered all of that.
Guess what? When I had a store that was in, say, maybe not the best area of town to be at midnight or so, if I had to be in those areas and I had to park my car, you know what I did? I looked around for homeless people. And I gave them a couple of bucks. I'm like, hey, man, go get yourself a cup of coffee or whatever. You know why? Because those people then looked out for my car.
Exactly.
If somebody came and started messing with my car, they might shoo them off as opposed to, the guy's car right behind me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shouldn't have to be like that. But my bigger point is sometimes helping the person right next to you does, in fact, help you as well.
Yes.
If I'm helping my next door neighbor, if somebody were to break in my house or somebody suspicious was to come to my house, they would be more willing to call the cops and help me out than if I'm, a total jerk to my neighbor, right?
Precisely.
Fours, what is going on, my brother?
He's in the house.
Yeah, and we picked this topic tonight too, only because we had KyberCon this week. And I was like, dude, we just need something that's going to be easy. And when I say easy, I don't by any means want anyone to think that what we mean is this disability is easy to deal with. No. We just meant stuff that we knew we were going to be able to find a ton of research on without having to dig. Because some of the topics that we get into, it's hard to find video clips or things in the public media that are representative of those diseases. Blindness, however, is one that we were able to get quite a few. In fact, I would say there was so much stuff out there we had to narrow it down.
We did. Things.
There was one I watched a bunch of. A lot of people might remember the movie The Scent of a Woman with Robert De Niro. He plays a blind lawyer, which was a great movie. I would love to put clips in there. But he didn't really have any scenes that were about blindness. They were just, which is a great movie. They were just about how he lived his life. It wasn't about blindness. Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and do another video clip here.
All right.
And I think we're going to save Ray for last. I feel like that was inspirational.
You got it.
All right, so here we go.
He's progressing slowly, but he's doing the best he can.
Actually, I was asking about the mall designs, but it's okay. It's understandable. So how is it going? It's not quite what you expected, is it?
What do you mean?
I mean, I know you like this guy. You want to help him out. Sometimes good intentions aren't enough. And look at me, I'm still a jerk.
Yeah, you are. Well, happy birthday, jerk.
So, of course, you know that we are expected in Atlanta tomorrow with a completed plan, so...
Duncan, I can't go. There's just too much going on. Hey, Virgil. I wanted you to meet Duncan and Virgil.
Hey, Virgil, how's it going? Congratulations, man. It's good to see you.
All these days, it's good to see anything.
Come on, Duncan, let's dance.
Oh, duty calls. Listen, Amy, sorry about Atlanta. Could have used you.
What is that, Atlanta?
Oh, he tried to spring a meeting on me for tomorrow, but I told him I wouldn't go. Did you change your hair?
I just combed it. Do you think what Webster said is true, that the eyes lie to us?
No, I don't.
So what is you kissing Duncan say?
Oh, God.
You
no.
kissed him, right?
Yeah.
What does that say?
It says it's his birthday.
I haven't seen a kiss like that before.
Well, that's what a birthday kiss looks like.
What's this look mean?
What look?
This look, you look strange. I don't understand what your face means.
Nothing.
I've never
It
seen it
doesn't
before.
mean-
What does it mean?
It doesn't mean anything. We're just talking. I'm just looking back at you. It doesn't mean anything.
Let's dance.
Don't you want to dance anymore? Here, we can try this. It's fun. They're just doing letters. You want to try?
I don't belong here.
It's just a stupid dance, Virgil. Hey, look.
No, fuck looking.
Oh my God.
Take me home.
Are you okay? Honey, you all right?
Just take me home.
Wow.
Wow. Woo. Actually, that was interesting because that was not the clip that I submitted.
No, that
So I
Mezzo.
was completely ready for something else.
That was Mezzo. I seen that movie, and that was a good movie.
Yeah.
And,
So I want to give a little bit of context because, well, the clip that I submitted actually talked about it talked about a little bit about this guy's particular disease or issue that he's dealing with. And this one showed a little bit about how it affected him. So I think both were interesting and both showed different parts of it. So in this particular movie, for those that have not seen it, and I have not seen the full thing as a full disclaimer,
Okay,
but this
I won't give it away.
gentleman, good choice, Menzo. I chose the same movie too. We all submitted clips, dude. Anyways, in this movie, he has a disease. I can't remember the clip that I submitted has the name of the disease in there. I don't remember the name of the disease, but I do remember learning about it in early childhood development. So it really caught my attention when they were talking about it. In this gentleman's particular, thank you, Forrest. I just feel like people think I don't do anything here. So, anyways, he has a particular disease in that the eyes actually work. Everything functions perfectly. It's just that his brain never learned to work together with his eyes. And so they... do you have a better way of explaining it, John?
Basically, think of it being like a video camera. The video camera works, but the
Right.
connection to the computer doesn't.
Right, they just didn't connect the cord somehow, right?
Yeah.
Right, so everything was there. I remember this article, and they were talking about horrible. And of course, we have a history of experimenting on animals. A lot of places still do. I don't condone it at all. However, there was this experiment that was done on cats. I want to say like in the 70s or something like that. And what they did was they took two groups. There was the control group A, control group B, and they control group A just let them be normal kittens, right? Whatever a cat normally does, they're going to do. But in control group B, for the first month, you know how like kittens, when they first born, their eyes are closed, but then they open their eyes?
Yes.
So with the control group B, they actually put blindfolds over those kittens at the time when their eyes were supposed to open up and they're to learn. So they put blindfolds over them for a month and then took off the blindfolds, and those cats became permanently blind. Their eyes, everything worked, everything was functioning the way it should, but because they missed the critical learning development time period that is necessary for kittens, and the same things happens with cats, right? I mean, with children.
Yeah.
If there are developmental levels that children should be hitting and they miss it, their bodies will not just automatically pick it up and like, oh, the blindfold's off now we can see. No, exactly. I didn't learn how to do that, right?
That was one of the things told to me when I was growing up, that if they didn't get to me early enough with my blindness, that I would have been stuck blind.
Right.
So
That's the whole.
I forget the name of that. I used to know the name of that.
That is the whole thought process behind ABA, behavioral assistance, whether it's autism or other disabilities that people have.
Yes.
But getting them somebody to early on to come to their home in their environment and teach them how to do teach people how to do normal things. If you can train people early enough, they can find ways to work around it, right?
Exactly.
Or grow up and not have it be as much of a challenge. But if you don't hit them at the correct critical times, they may never develop these skills.
Exactly.
So in this guy's particular case, there was some kind of surgery that was able to do, and basically they just plugged the eye sockets back in, and all of a sudden he was sighted, but he had grown up basically blind. And in this case, just like Matt Murdock said, what I wouldn't give to see the sunset again or
yes.
whatever, right? In this case, it actually freaked him out to have
yes.
sight, because he had grown up in a whole completely different world, and now he's having to learn. Like, I love that scene where he was saying, "What does your face mean?"
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We just look at each other, and if John's pissed off at me, I'm going to be able to look at his face and tell that he's not real happy with me, right? Because I've grown up and I've learned this by visual communication my entire life. Babies do this from the moment they're born. That's why they get so close. They're observing their parents' faces. So if you never had that, and now you're just having to learn all of these things, right? We take so much for granted as sighted people.
It's like that with me, with ADHD and autism and stuff, I don't readily recognize visual cues of people. I have to keep working at that constantly.
Right. Some more. I want to get a couple more quick facts, and then we'll hit our last little video clip. Just because some of these facts were like, God, I really never thought about that before. That has just never crossed my mind. We talked about the 80%. People who are blind are just as reticent, and even more so, to experience dreaming than a sighted person. It's just that it'll be more about the sense and the sound around them. They won't see things in their dreams. They'll just be kind of like how they live their normal life.
Yeah.
This one I thought was interesting because it's something I never thought about. Guide dogs, I've always known that dogs see in black and white, right? But I never thought about it in context of guide dogs needing to look at traffic lights to help their person across the street. So guide dogs can't see black or white, or I mean, they can't see the red or the green. What they actually do is it is the person themselves that is telling the dog, let's go on, let's go now. And if the dog looks around and sees too much traffic or cars, whatever, the dog will not allow him to go. But it's still being guided. It's not that the dog is guiding the person. The person is still guiding the dog, but the dog is basically saying, yes, you can do that. No, you cannot do that.
Yes. I have a very good friend of mine named Alex Ramsden. He is visually impaired. He went through the whole guide dog, getting into guide dog, and I've shown him on my broadcasts and stuff going through the process.
Right.
It's amazing what these dogs are trained to do.
Right.
It is incredible. I did not realize how much. They start from when they're pups. They're weeded out. Good pups will then be obedient to people. Other pups that are just pups go off to be pets.
Right.
Yeah. So they're taught about where position is for lights, positioning, whether it's different lights. They also do, like you mentioned, pay attention to their surroundings. They're given so many different, like the markings on sidewalks.
Right.
They're looking for those too, so that they're given several different things along with the person, so they don't accidentally walk into traffic.
Right. I have a friend named well, you know what? I'm going to keep names out of this because I don't necessarily know if she would want me speaking. Anyways, I have a friend.
Okay.
And she has a daughter who has a social an emotional support animal. So and for the most part, I've seen her videos because they actually have to keep training these dogs. It's not like you get the dog and all of a sudden you're done. No, they keep doing drills with their dogs to learn new skills. There was one where I guess it was they were playing a anxiety attack situation, and my friend, the mother, had her daughter's inhaler, and said, go find her. And the daughter went and hid somewhere, and the dog had this inhaler in his mouth, and his job was to look all around the house until he found her, and then gave her her inhaler.
Aww.
So, yeah, I mean, these dogs, it's not just like they come in their, a complete package. You still got to work with them.
Oh, yeah, no, they got to continuously be worked with.
Right. A couple more little facts and we'll get to this video. This one is interesting. 70% of people who are blind deal with non-24 hours sleep-wake disorder. So basically, if you're blind, we don't realize how much we use the sun and the moon to regulate our sleep, right?
Yes.
What is that called?
Circadian rhythm.
Yes, yeah. When the sun goes down, we start getting tired. We start slowing down, right? Because that is the rhythm of the world. If you're blind, it's dark all the time, so you don't know when it's nighttime and daytime. So it says 70% of people, their sleep is basically messed up. You might catch them asleep in the middle of the day because their body can't tell the difference. Okay, so it does say that people that are blind refute the age-old myth. It's not like their senses get better, but because they rely on them so much more, they use them more. They're more in tune with them. People that are blind tend to know and can categorize different scents better, smells, than a sighted person. And lastly, and to end on a good note, because I thought this one was really cute. What's up, Mezzo? Lastly, it seems that people who are blind are more lucky in love. 65% of Americans who are blind are married and live with a partner and experience only a 16.5% divorce rate.
Wow.
So if you want to be lucky in love, if your Valentine didn't work out for you yesterday, just go be blind. That is my philosophy. All right, we're going to get to our last little video clip of the night here. And here we go. I like this because it was more of kind of an inspirational ending, I feel like.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Ray, come on and let me put this salve on I got from Dr. McLeod.
No, I don't like it. It stings.
Boy, get up here. I paid a whole $1 for it. It better work. Now hold up your head like the doctor says. This is gonna make you feel better. Ray, come on in for dinner. And stop rubbing those eyes. Ray, I ain't gonna beat around the bush with you. You going blind. The doctor's saying nothing they can do, so we gotta do it ourselves.
Yes, I know, but...
Stop it. Stop it right now. We ain't got no time for no tears. Ain't nobody gonna have no pity on you just because you're going blind. Now wipe them eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll show you how to do something once. I'll help you if you mess up twice, but the third time you're on your own, because that's the way it is in the world. All right, now get up. Remember, you going blind, but you ain't stupid. Remember how many stairs there were?
4.
Good. You're gonna have to learn how to use your memory. Now turn around, and I want you to hold out your hands and use them as your eyes and find a door. Good. That's real good, baby.
Ow! Mama! Mama, help! Mama, help! Mama, help, please! I need you! Mama, help!
All right. Okay. All right. Apparently, we're on copyright. It went to black. So, we're just hanging out for a second. That was such a powerful. Oh crap! Oh, so we didn't get the end of that, did we?
No.
It just cut off. Huh?
Yeah, it just cut off there.
Oh crap! So yeah, so it goes on a little bit more, and he starts hearing things around him, and his mother's watching him, and then there's this cricket, and he goes and he hears the cricket, and he's able to capture the cricket, and he holds it in his hand, and then I love it where he says, you know, Mama, I know you're there. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that's such a powerful, powerful scene.
Yes, she had to step back and say, I can't continue to hold your hand for all of this. Otherwise, you will never stop needing me.
Right.
You'll have to learn to rely on yourself. I mean, that had to be hard for her.
Right. But you know what? She did the thing. It's one of the things that we actually learn as teachers in early childhood development. Oh no! Force is quitting Kyber Cave. It's not a curse. It's just that we got to figure out when we get our YouTube representative. We're gonna ask them and figure out how we do these copyrights correctly. Because I know there's a way. Other people do it. It's not like we can't. So, anyways, in early childhood development, a lot of times, you know, when you see a child that's struggling or, you know, having a tough time with something, it's our instinct to go help them, right? We just want to go rush over there and help that little child out, right? But as a young teacher, a lot of times we will sit back and let that child learn on their own. Because whether they get it the first time or they fail the first time and it takes a second or maybe a third, they need to learn that it's something that they can do on their own.
Exactly.
And that's what Mama was doing in that scene. Was you could tell it broke her heart.
Oh, yeah.
When her little son fell and, you know, he was calling out for her. But she knew that she had to let him. Now, have you seen that movie in the whole thing, John?
Yes. Oh, I've seen that movie twice now.
I've not seen
it. It's a really good movie.
I need to watch that movie. Did the salve cause the blindness, or was the salve to cure the blindness?
The salve was to hopefully cure it or try to slow it.
Okay, so he was going blind. It wasn't
Yes.
like this medicine caused the blindness.
No, the medicine did not.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I obviously that was about Ray Charles. And that little boy gave such a powerful performance.
He really did.
Seeing his eye, I mean, just the way it was shot with the white kind of stuff and the color of his eyes, and sometimes we talk about how little kid actors, it's tougher for them, but this kid nailed it.
He did. He nails it. He nails it good.
Very powerful performance. We all know Ray Charles. Stevie Wonder is another example of a musician who goes on to become quite famous. Oddly, it wasn't Beethoven that was deaf?
Yes.
Is it Beethoven or Mozart?
Oh shoot.
I can't remember which of the two. I'm not cultured at all. At any rate, it's very interesting how certain disabilities. What was that? It is Beethoven. Okay, very cool. Thank you, Boy Wonder. Especially if not being able to hear, how the heck could you be a musician if you can't actually hear?
Vibrations.
Exactly. So the bigger point is, just because you have disabilities, I've seen blind skiers. You know what I mean? There are people that blind people do all kinds of sports that you're like, how the heck can you do that with no sight? I can't even do it with eyesight.
Yeah. When I broadcasted the Paralympics for the 2012 games, we saw visually impaired blind soccer. We saw all of these sports that had blind people doing things. I'm like, what? I never even realized those things existed. I'm like, whoa, mind officially blown. And then all the other disabilities too, but we're talking about blindness, and it was like, wow. I mean, I worked with people that were blind. I've had blind friends, and wow.
Right. So yeah, don't assume that just because somebody has some sort of a disability that they can't do things just like you and me. I've seen people with no arms freaking driving cars, doing artwork that just absolutely blows. I mean, it's better than people who can use their hands to draw.
Yep, it's pretty amazing out there.
So that I want to close off by saying, just to remind everybody, we are not medical professionals.
No.
None of the three of us here have any medical backgrounds. We just bring up topics every week that we find to be interesting. Our goal here at Hearts of Kyber is to kind of spread awareness about disabilities that are known, disabilities that are unknown, and to kind of normalize all of these things. So many people are dealing with so many different things that you can't even possibly begin to understand what their life looks like. But maybe through this show, just a little bit, if you hear about somebody that has stiff person syndrome, or if you hear about somebody that has hydrocephalus, maybe you'll remember this show and go, oh, wow, that's what this person deals with. This is what their life looks like. So maybe I should be a little more compassionate.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yes, we didn't leave. Good show, guys. Thank you, Forrest. Thank you. So I think that's pretty much it. I feel good about tonight's show. We got some good facts out there. Like we said, 80% of blindness could be cured. So, I say send letters to your senator, send letters to your local official. There's no reason Americans or anybody on this planet, but let's start with home. There is no reason these people should be disabled if all it takes is a damn 10-minute procedure. Let's find the way to make money. And if we got to make damn YouTube videos to do it, I'm all for it. You can call me a sellout. You can call me whatever you want. But if at the end of the day I can help somebody get some eyesight because of something I was able to do, then call me whatever you want. I'll be that sellout.
I think I'll sign up for that too.
I will be that sellout.
I'll own it.
That's right. All right, y'all. From Robin to John
Keep
to
moving.
me. Make sure to go check out Ability TVs. If you can, you get to see the behind the scenes of the making of Beatdown episodes when those get worked on.
Yeah, when I'm not sick.
Or when you're not sick, and so many other shows that John has over there. This show, Hearts of Kyber, is a collaboration we do between Kyber Cave and Ability TVs every once a week, as well as Beatdown. Beatdown is another show we do as collaboration. So
Yes.
we definitely want to make sure that you're going and checking that out as well. We are here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. East Coast time.
Yes.
Do the math for wherever you live on the planet.
There you go.
Or just wait till the next day and watch the show the next
You
day.
can just click that little bell thing there and just get notified. Not have to worry
Please
about it.
like and subscribe. I watch a lot of these YouTube how to grow your channel things. And one thing I'm terrible at that I need to get better at, please like and subscribe to our channel. I know Alex said that very early at the beginning of the show.
John, join us at K-Cat and all our other shows.
That's right.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh, we got a huge lineup of shows. You saw some of the ads at the beginning. We have, starting on Monday, we have Retro Alcove. That's every Monday with my boy Graveyard and whoever he is playing with.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday we have Beatdown. That's my boy John on the ones and twos, and people with glow sticks beating each other up.
Yep.
Wednesday mornings we got Mezzo Gaming, either by herself. That is a live stream, either
Yeah.
by herself or with somebody else in the crew. Wednesday afternoon, 5 p.m. another live show, Hearts of Kyber. That is us right here. Thursdays you get Fours Gaming, and it could be two queens and a fours. It could be Mr. and Mrs. Fours. It could be 7 years ago. You don't know what you're going to get on the Fours show, but we do know that it happens
Man's like they're enjoying himself right now, laughing it up.
every Thursday night. Hold on real quick. Sorry, somebody's knocking on the front door. So yes, Thursday nights, and then Friday night, of course, we have Kyber Cave After Dark at 8 p.m. And lastly, Saber Rattle every Sunday at 7 p.m. And I want to say we right now are at 962 subscribers. I want to say we're 38 away, and we are giving away the saber that you just bought, my friend. The Dark Saber.
Oh.
Yeah, we are giving away a NeoPixel Dark Saber. It's not going to be the Profi NeoPixel.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be the SNL, the SN NeoPixel.
Oh, the Saturday Night Live one. Okay.
It's the standardized. Hold on, real quick. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. At any rate, we are giving away the SN Pixel. So make sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and hit the bell for notifications. And then hopefully once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away that saber. Yeah, and forces get the door. All right, let's shut this off because I got to figure out who's at this door because the kid's not listening. All right, we love you guys from all of us here at Hearts of Kyber. Peace.
Peace.
Let me find that. I got to find the outro. Here we go.